This is my review of Bleach, episode 22. Music opening is terrific, a lot of suspense. Game's right there. But unfortunately, this is the end of me praising the fucking anime. We were on a high for a little while, but it's over. But it comes back, actually. But for right now, Jumbo's holding up the gate. And of course, in the manga, we see Gin grip his sword, and then bang! We see blood shoot out of Jumbo's arm. We see Gin put his sword back, and Jumbo's arm falls off. Here, Jumbo is just staring at Gin, and then all of a sudden we see like a thing. The screen, I think, goes bright, comes back, and then his forearm is just slashed and is bleeding, and he drops it, and then the gate falls on him. And there's a lot of blood, but it's still really lame. They didn't even show Gin swing because, of course, he couldn't have swung. It's implied he just stabbed, which is just fucking stupid. Him severing his forearm could, in theory, take away the strength and make it so he couldn't lift the gate, but what it wouldn't do is it wouldn't make his arm fall limp. Not unless he cut the shoulder, which is what I thought. I thought he cut his shoulder, which would, sever the muscles and stuff and leave the arm kind of limp. But no, he just cuts him, like, right here. Horrible, horrible. I fucking hate censorship for this reason. It's so stupid. Makes scenes like this just... They don't make any sense, and they're just really stupid. There's blood in it anyways. It's not that big a deal to have someone lose their fucking arm. I did notice, though, as Gin walks away from Ichigo, the reason that he walks away from Ichigo before using Shinzo is so Ichigo has time to react and block his attack. And he does. If he was close, he would have shot right through Ichigo and killed him. But he's not trying to kill him, so he walks away, and bang! Ichigo just barely manages to block it. And it drives him through the gate, obviously. They did a lot of justice to the Shinzo scene as well. They, have boom, these big, like the dust kicks up, air's flying at them as Gin's preparing, the music kicks up, and then boom, he hits, and you see the light, like, shooting across the screen. As it hits Ichigo, it looks fucking amazing. But then I couldn't help but realize he didn't say Shinso's name when he used it to attack Jidambo, so is that some level of mastery that he doesn't need to call on his Shikai to use? I think that's a thing later on. They don't have to. But I want to say... why would he in some places if he doesn't need to? That's just strange to me. They have the elder of the villagers come out and introduce himself when they're all, like, standing around, which is an improvement. It's better than him just coming out of nowhere and them talking to him. He introduced himself. He says they'll recognize them for helping Jidambo, so they don't think that they're bad people. Or he may sitting there inspecting the wound before deciding to heal Jidambo's arm, which is a bit contrived because she has no reason to think she can or can't heal something with her power. She's only used it like once, or well, she trained with a little bit with Yoruichi, but I don't know how much she trained the healing portion of it. But I don't know how she would need to inspect the wound before deciding to heal it. She's not a medical expert, so it's just a weird scene. It's contrived, it's dumb. But they make like a big spectacle out of it, and then Ichigo asks Orihime about her power. Why wouldn't he have asked her when she was using her shield? Why is he asking her now? The implication was that they talked about it before getting to this point. presumably after he was shocked to find out that Orihime and Chad even had powers. So him asking about it now is just weird. But then as she's healing Jidambo and everyone's shocked, Yuichi arrives, and then they really expand on the Yuichi and Chad stuff, and I think that was a great choice. It helps to solidify the storyline by keeping it going with Yuichi, because it is one of Kubo's better storylines. And it allows you to move around the Rukongai to really get across how big it is, the passage of time. It just really helped improve a lot of this. Because in the manga, you just go from Orihime's healing Jidambo to it's night, and she needs rest. And then they go to the plan. Half the episode was spent with Chad and Yuichi, and I think that was a really good decision. And they spread out basically they add a little bit to the conversation between Chad and Yuichi, but mostly what they do is they just break it up into these different sections as they move around the Rukongai. Eventually, as they're walking down the street, Yuichi sees Ichigo on a roof, and he says, "Oh, is your friend trying to see over the walls? He won't be able to on a roof like that." And then Chad says, "Yeah, he won't be able to, but he'll keep trying because that's just the kind of guy he is." Basically saying Ichigo will continue to pursue a goal regardless of how futile it may seem at first. They go and sit down somewhere, and Chad shares his childhood with Yuichi. And he wonders he talks about his strength and how he had to fight and stuff. And he wonders what the power he gained is. And he says that he's on Soul's side because he wants answers to his powers. And then he tells Yuichi to never give up on looking for his mother. And then they promise each other that neither one of them will give up. And I just wonder why the anime couldn't do stuff like this before this point. Expand on stuff, make stuff longer. Take your time with the series. Instead, they just skipped like half of fucking chapters and shit, and it was crazy. So dumb. But Chad shows up. Instead of Ichigo going out and getting Orihime as she's healing Jidambo, Ichigo's just outside, and Chad comes up behind him, and he lets Ichigo know that he'll always be behind him, basically meaning he has his back. So they skipped the whole thing of Orihime healing Jidambo, which is questionable to me. I don't know. You never get a resolution that I know of with Jidambo, so it's just strange. They could have gave you one in the anime. But they might, I don't remember, I don't think they do. They build up on Ganju crashing through the wall because we're following him as he's running on Bonnie. They made the tunnel scenes a little funnier by having him get in different poses as he's talking about each of his titles and having everyone say they have no idea who he is and stuff. The scene of Ichigo catching Zangetsu is not nearly as cool. It just flies through the air, Ichigo grabs it unravels, and he just points it at Ganju, whereas in the manga, he catches it and he holds it behind himself in a reversed way, and that looked badass as fuck. And then they add a little more to Ichigo and Ganju's fight, which is fine. I mean, I like fights, so that's cool with me. I don't really care one way or the other. Not like I was the best bit of fighting I've ever seen, but it was nice. But that's that. The main thing to take away from this, they expanded upon the Yuichi stuff. So in this particular instance, I would say that reading the manga and watching the anime is both a good decision, because they both have their ups and their downs here. Neither one I can say is like definitively better. The biggest like issue either one has is obviously the anime just censoring the bisected arm of Jidambo. I fucking hate censorship. I really just ruins shit like this. But that's episode 22. it's so late for them to start doing padding and stuff, but I'm glad to see it at all. To know they didn't just race through every little thing. I just wish they would take their time with other stuff as well. But it's good to give it to Yuichi because, as I've said before, it's really one of Kubo's better bits of writing. His story is sad, and it's nice to see them trying to build it up to a happier ending than what it is. But that's 22.